Spirit with Santa Bob.
Hey everyone, how you doing today? My guest here tonight is Tory
Perfetti. Tory Perfetti.
Tory Perfetti. Tory is a...
Currently, I am the chairman of Floridians for Solar Choice, and I'm also the Florida Director of Conservatives for Energy Freedom.
Right, and what we got here is we got a constitutional amendment petition form.
Absolutely.
And that's so that we can do what?
Well, basically what this amendment is it's going to allow an individual homeowner or a business owner to enter into a contract. So here's what's going on. Currently, in Florida, we are one of 5 states where, by law, it is illegal for you, if you're a homeowner and I'm a solar company, it is illegal for you to enter into a contract with me, for me to front the cost of the installation of the solar panels, as well as the solar panels themselves, and sell you that energy directly. And right now, that's what we're trying to prevent. So what this amendment is going to do is allow me as a solar company and you as a homeowner or business owner to enter into a contract with me for me to be able to front the cost of the installation and the solar panel and then sell you the energy directly. Second, it will allow a business owner or homeowner to sell excess generated energy or excess built up energy to their contiguously connected property.
Right.
And it would also allow a landlord to... Absolutely.
If you're outlawing something that is beneficial, I don't understand how they can support it. They do have to do whatever suits them. Well, in some cases, I guess.
Yeah, and that's the shame of it. You know, it doesn't really matter if you like solar. It doesn't matter if you don't like solar. Right. It doesn't matter if you like something or not. You don't outlaw the ability to conduct commerce in the free market. You don't pick one winner over another with the government. Right. You don't do that. You don't do that. You let people determine if they want to buy something, and if they want to buy it, that's called a demand. And then you, if a business owner, you meet the demand, you supply it. If I don't demand it, you're going out of business.
Exactly.
And that's how we regulate things. We do not outlaw them.
Right. It doesn't seem right that they're going to do that, and because you're not a utility company, we can't enter a contract with a solar company. That does not make a lot of sense to me personally.
It doesn't make any sense to me either.
So we're on the right page on that.
We're on the right page.
We just got to convince the rest of the Floridians to do the same thing.
We do, and right now, Floridians are highly supportive of this. We're at 75, 80% support across the board. The people, of course, who would be opposed to this are individuals whose business models are going to be upset. But look, it is not the way we do things.
Right.
You have competition. Competition breeds more choices, and it gets prices lower, it makes efficiency increase and ingenuity increase.
Our country was actually founded on the free enterprise system.
Absolutely.
So why are we restricting it?
And that's exactly the point.
I've gone right back to this. We talked about this earlier with Ed. Government is too much involved in our personal lives.
I couldn't agree.
They're getting more so every day. Every day we lose another right, but they take it away from us, and somehow I hate these red light cameras. They say it's for to catch red light runners, but if you read the thing, the statute says if you are approaching an intersection and you cross over the crosswalk when the yellow light's on, you've run a red light. Excuse me, but that is not a red light. That is a caution light. If you're going to need to mark that, then do away with the caution light. Just make it red.
Well, and I'll remove my Floridians for Solar Choice hat and my Conservative Energy Freedom hat on, just as Tory Perfetti, a conservative guy, which I am. I gotta tell you, I don't like red cameras either. And there's a lot of things that are going on in this country that are ridiculous right now. And the government is intruding into our daily lives. They're intruding into the business world. They're trying to pick winners and losers. And I gotta tell you, it's going so far as to try to convince people that it's okay to outlaw certain forms of commerce, which is crazy.
Absolutely.
It's crazy.
You're defeating the purpose of what our forefathers decided we needed to do.
And you know, the best thing is, I'll put my hat back on, my Floridians for Solar Choice back on. I want you to go to flsolarchoice.org and read the amendment for yourself. You will see that there are no mandates in this amendment. There are no subsidies, and there is nothing dealing with tax increases, which means that this is a free market, pro-consumer, pro-choice, pro-business, and pro-God's earth amendment that gives you options and choices, and it spurns off, or pardon me, it builds competition in the energy market.
Okay, now I got one quick question. How do we get this, besides getting an amendment in there, how can we get our government to back off of some of our rights and stuff they're intruding on. How do we get them to stop?
So you want me to take off? All right.
Let's switch hats.
I'm going to switch the hats. I'm going to take the hat off because FL Solar Choice, the Florence of Solar Choice, it's all we do politically is this amendment.
Right.
So me, speaking for me, a conservative activist, Tory Perfetti, you know, it's about us leading. A lot of people, they always like to say, well, our vote or our voice does not count. But that's what the side that's coming to take away our rights is hoping for. They're hoping that we give up, that we say, I want to go home after work and I want to sit there and not do anything. Well, look, you know, a lot of us get tired. A lot of us have problems. A lot of us have families. We want to be left alone. We worked hard. We're trying to earn our daily living in a country where wages are going down. And I get it, where you don't even have a job, where you're working part-time. But we all have to contribute and lead. And there's a saying, the people lead, the legislators or the politicians will follow. And it does happen. But they count on anybody from any party, they count on us giving up our rights to lead and establish laws how we want them.
Right, because they decide, well, we're going to do it this way. And, well, I'm sorry it upsets you on this end, but these people over here say it's okay, so we're going to go with it.
We need to lead. We need to stand up. We have a system. We have a society. Again, as Tory Perfetti, I'll tell you, we have a society that is encroaching on our privacy.
Absolutely.
They're encroaching on our free speech.
Absolutely.
They're encroaching on our individual God-given rights.
Absolutely.
They're trying to outlaw specific industries and make it harder for certain commerce to be conducted. You know, you got the little guy out there. Forget about outlawing an industry. What about the fact of how much it costs for an idea to get patented or copyrighted? I mean, the things, the regulations, the things that are happening to people is extraordinary, and we need to fight back. And one of the best ways to do that is get involved. Primaries are where you get to vote your conscience beyond all things. That's when you need to show up, and right now we don't show up in primaries. People wait to the general elections. Ladies and gentlemen, show up.
A doctor just, my cardiologist recently said, you know, this country's going to hell in a handbasket. So things that are happening to us that shouldn't be happening to us. Veterans patients a day, and he says, I'm a cardiologist, I see 8 to 10 patients in the morning. I see another 8 to 10 patients in the afternoon.
Right.
Why are they only seeing 4 people? And then we've got veterans out here dying who can't get in to see the doctors. You know, I'm trying to figure out a way that we can help keep the spirit going here, but, you know, we have to show a little more compassion toward our veterans.
Well, I agree with you. I mean, look, and you know, I don't always like to bring this up, and I think most people who serve are they have a humility that comes with them. But, you know, I'm currently an officer in the Army National Guard, and any time that we're not protecting and supporting our veterans, volunteers who are out there defending this country, regardless of who is in office, regardless of partisanship, they are out there defending their brothers and sisters that are sitting next to them, and they're out there defending this country. They're out there standing up for us. We have to be there for them. And the system right now, obviously, from what we're hearing from veterans, what we're all experiencing personally, is not working the way that we need it to, and we have to make sure to speak up on all these issues. And veterans got to stick together. We can never allow to happen to us what happened to those poor individuals that came home from Vietnam and were not treated as well as our veterans today are treated. That was a shame. These are individuals who do not make policy. Soldiers are out there simply doing their job.
Following the orders of their superiors.
That's what happens.
Doing what they're supposed to do to protect your rights and to keep you safe and to keep you where you are today. We have been out there, men and women out there are dying every day for the same cause. And yet we ignore our veterans, and I think that's a terrible shame. I am personally a Vietnam veteran. I did not serve in Vietnam myself,
yes, sir.
But I was so close to going. It was I got stopped in Okinawa. I got stopped.
Right.
There's about 300 of us got out the plane, and the guys counted about 30 of them over here. These guys over here. These guys go to Nam, and these guys stay.
Go there.
I was in the group that stayed. Okay, but I was in what they considered a support for Vietnam.
Right.
I've seen a lot of guys coming to and from Vietnam. They come through Okinawa.
Yes, sir.
And it was a shame. I remember going to Japan for some cold weather training, and I remember this vividly like it was last night. Japanese sitting on the beach with a sign, hands off of Vietnam assassins. I'd never seen anything like that before in my life. And yet we were treated worse at home. Our veterans there.
Well, it was not a very nice time, you know. And again, I can't emphasize enough that veterans, they join up, they volunteer to protect this country, they volunteer to do something that's selfless service, loyalty, honor, integrity, character, duty, and they don't make policy. So when you see a veteran on a street, you know, they may not react elatedly, because there is a humility that comes with veterans, but shake their hand and make sure you realize they do not make policy. They go where the politicians, where leadership tells them to go. They're simply following orders and doing their job to do their best for their brothers and sisters in arms that are with them and doing their best for this country.
I found it recently. I have been, in the last 5 years, I've had more people come up to me and thank me for my military service.
Yeah.
I used to go four-wheeling in Afghanistan with my camel Irma. Well, it was so much fun. And this is a lot of family fun out here. We have big concerts and events and comedy and stuff for the whole family to do. Whoa, look out. Oh, tell everybody what type of great things you can do at the mud pit.
Oh, we have all types of things. We have a Jeep rock course. We have a bounty hole.
A bounty hole?
We have a hill.
Those are fun.
We've got DOT pits, street legal trucks.
Oh, street legal. I love going in the four-wheel drive trucks. This is so much fun. And that's how you buy tickets to these great events.
Yes, you can buy tickets in advance. Only $10. They're $15 at the gate, but you can get tickets for $10 in advance.
Oh, yeah. This is so much. I think they're starting to get flames under the hood. I think we're going to blow up. We must.
It's on fire.
Oh, what's up, man? Welcome. Yeah, we're rocking and rolling, man. We're cruising. We're cruising in space, because it's all about the sci-fi, man. That's right, it's Professor Gravitron. It was all about the sci-fi in our new mobile app, man, on American Arts Radio. Go to our website, www.american.
Hey, this is Johnny Van Zandt. You're watching American Hearts Radio.
Do you have any ideas that we can keep the spirit alive at Christmas year round? And now people get the wrong idea. I'm not saying you have to give presents every time you turn around.
Real conservative activist, just me as a person, absolutely. You know, I'm a very Christian individual, very, very God-oriented, and I thank the Lord every day for the humility that I pray for and that I'm given. And I think that, you know, keeping the spirit alive is just about understanding that everybody has something, right, that's important to them. But what should be important to all of us is making sure that we try to have as much respect for our fellow man and have respect for this country.
The Shriners Hospital today and donated him to the Children's Hospital, and we got a little tour of the hospital. It was great.
Yeah.
I didn't realize all the things that the Shriners Hospital is doing over there.
Yeah.
They actually make wheelchairs, they make prostheses.
Yes.
They're in all kind of different research. It's a training and learning hospital over there. It was, you know, and people don't even think about it. But,
no,
you know,
laughter and smiling. It's a big
the best medicine.
Laughter's a huge medicine.
It's the best thing in the world.
And having a good positive mindset. You know, people underestimate that we can self-inflict a lot of our own pain by denying the spirit, by denying ourselves, by denying that positivity. You know, people are going to be out there. You're going to get accosted by negative thoughts. You're going to get accosted by people who aren't going to necessarily like you. But you know something? Don't allow somebody else's negative dislike of you or what have you.
You give them a smile.
Yeah, don't laugh. They could be having a real bad day.
Right,
but you can
give
smile.
them a smile. And you know, I used to do this when I was working before I retired. I used to go to my boss and say, "What?" Because if your job is easier, so is mine.
Well, and you know, and that there's so much that comes into play with this. You know, I think people stability with God. There is a real big problem that happens, and it goes into every facet of life. You know, people say, well, what is, and I've heard this, right? The military personnel have conducted themselves with honor and integrity and character for generations after generations, despite what people have tried to say. American military personnel are some of the most honorable in conduct in all the wars that we've been fighting. And, but, you know, when you fight a war the way that some of them are fighting it, I would say that they're probably trying to do things intimidatingly. That's kind of scary for people, right? If you're watching your friends and your family members or people that you don't even know, but they're your countrymen, they're getting their heads chopped off. That's a very scary thing, and it's an attempt to, in my opinion, it would be an attempt not only to show how tough you are or what they think is a definition of life. It's also to show people that, look, you do not oppose us. This is what happens to you.
Right.
So, you know, it goes back, though, to you get the calling, right? American military has done a lot of things to protect other people over the generations, and it's going to take individuals over there in their countries to stand up and say, we're not going to take this.
Exactly.
And they're going to have to defend themselves. They're going to have to defend their people from that kind of barbarism.
Right. But unfortunately, they have the religious part of it that gets...
That's true.
The religious part of it gets a little crazy, because you got some people who say, well, this is what the Bible says, and this is how I interpret it, but then on the other side, says, well, no, this is the way it's supposed to be, because this is the way I've interpreted it. And we've got that big conflict there, and it's been like that way for years, and I don't think they'll ever end that war over there in the Middle East, because it's going to continue. It's a holy war. Been fighting for many years.
There's been a large history of war that we could all study going back thousands of years. Absolutely.
Exactly. So, but anyway, we can do things better. I know we can, and we do have a good, for the most part, we do have a good reputation throughout the world as far as how our military...
American military personnel, I believe, currently, after all polling is done, we are, and I say we, I mean, I know you're a veteran, I'm still in, I mean, American military personnel in poll numbers from our own country are considered at the top of people who are respected. You know, it's a great change, but American military personnel, the soldiers themselves have done nothing but demonstrate good character traits.
And we'd like to extend our welcome and our really thanks out there to all the veterans out there and all the organizations that help our vets.
Absolutely.
I think it's the best thing in the world we can do for them. There's other things that I know I'm very disillusioned about. Not too long ago, when they closed the Navy base down in Orlando a few years back, they had a brand new mess hall. They were in the process of building. Now, they had to complete the building and then tear it down before they go to the contract. Wow. Now, personally, I think we could have used that building. It was a nice, brand new building made for making meals, and used that to take care of some of the homeless problems we have, feeding the homeless.
Well, you know, and I think a really good thing that out there, look, you know, private organizations, private religious organizations, private veterans organizations, and nonprofits, they're doing a great job. There are a lot of ones now. Obviously, there's bad ones. We know.
Exactly.
There's always going to be bad apples in a barrel.
No matter
However, I think it's important that people continue to contribute if they can, if God has given you the means to contribute what you can to these private groups, because private groups have been handling the homeless situation and charitable situations and veterans causes in a very good way compared to some of the problems we've had with the government trying to do it.
Right.
And I think it's important people remember that there are a lot of great organizations, religious organizations, private organizations that have done a good job out there and are trying, and they need your help.
Right. Do anything you can for the church. Donate whatever. Get your group together at your church and donate. Get some things together and donate phone cards, if nothing else. Send it to our boys and girls over there.
Food cans.
Anything like. Well, you're current military, active duty or active right now.
National Guard.
But National Guard. But you are familiar with what's going on as far as being overseas and have to deal with that. With our technology, they send a $10 phone card. They would just love that.
Well, National Guard and Army Reserve have been contributing to the war on terror and to the different wars for the last 14 years that they have been existing, doing the same load that the active duty have been doing. We've worked very well together. There's almost no separation in the ability. We have all the same training and all the same responsibilities and expectations, and I don't think there's any soldier, whether they're in a basic training unit and they just entered, whether they're sitting in their barracks, whether they're living in housing, whether they're overseas, whether they're here, whether they've been activated for hurricane duty, depending on whatever your job is, there's not one that I know that doesn't appreciate something in the mail. It's a great feeling when you get something. I mean, I remember going back to basic training. I got cards in the mail from people, and you know, it's a big deal. You know, somebody is saying thank you and Merry Christmas or Happy Thanksgiving or just hello.
Just dropping a word and saying, hey, we're thankful that you're over there taking care of us and serving us, and we really appreciate your... Listen, folks, we've about got things wrapped up here. We appreciate you coming with us today, Tory, and
thank you very much.
Come back again and see us again. And folks, keep in mind about this petition. We want you to get out there and read this and get this thing put on the ballot and get it taken care of, folks.
Absolutely. I put my Solar Choice hat back on. Now, Chairman of Floridians of Solar Choice, please go to flsolarchoice.org. Go read the amendment for yourself. You will see there are no mandates, no subsidies. It is a free market amendment. It is a pro-consumer, pro-business, pro-God's environment, pro-God's earth amendment. It's a net win for all of us. It creates jobs, and it can potentially help lower your utility bills. God bless and thank you.
Thank you. Bye now.